Hello everyone, Naodline here, back with another BFME replay. Today we once again got Nidhoggr, and once again we have LeckLerck. This time Gondor versus Roham. So what is going to go on today? We see double farm and double farm, that's to be expected. And I imagine then they're going to go to a triple farm, and then Nidhoggr is going to build another barracks like he normally does. Right next to the right farm. Yep, I'm starting to get good at this. What do you know? And we see over here, yep, another farm. And is he going to build the barracks, or is he going to go for peasant spam? Now, peasant spam is something I would only recommend in PvP, never PvE. No, he's going for the stables? That's an expensive building. Hold on a second. Hold on. Where's his thing? I can't find his thing. That's a 4... Okay, 400 isn't actually that bad. 400! Ooh, nice. So LeckLerck is going straight in for his cavalry. Possibly because he knew Nidhoggr was going to go for Lambadin Clansmen. He may not expect any spearmen. But he did start with the draft power, so has he got any peasants building? Oh, no, there we go. He's building a second farm next to his first farm. I'd imagine both of these farms will be his peasant spam. Or any one of them, I guess. Oh, that's interesting. So if you build a farm next to another farm, at least with Roham, if you put it on the farm if you take it off farm production, if you put it onto Peasantry of the Mark, it doesn't affect the resources gained from the farm. Or if it does, it's very marginal. And here we see some Horsemen of the Mark already having a pretty reduced cost from all the farms. Nidhoggr already getting the Lambadin Clansmen and some Linhir Spearmen to deal with the Warglairs. A very smart choice. Keeping out of his range of vision. These two players are too good for me. Oh, okay. And then we see a barracks coming out right next to the farm. This is actually a very good strategy, because that way you're protecting your farm, which does not have any military protection, which the barracks does have. And for Nidhoggr, he has not gone for any powers yet. He's not going for any powers, although he is going to try and take out this farm. Looks like he might be successful. Even peasants, when drafted, are not that good. Oh, these Horsemen of the Mark are going to be a big problem. Just one of them is going to wreck face, I think is the appropriate term. Now, can peasants, which cost 150, beat Lambadin Clansmen that cost 250, when the Lambadin Clansmen also have to deal with the fact that peasants are drafted? Well, the first unit was anyway. This unit, not so much, so they're going to die quite swiftly. But with some some yeoman spearmen, that should hold them off. LeckLerck is using those cavalry to fine work. The spearmen taking out that lair quite quickly, and another unit of the Horsemen of the Mark trampling over the Lambadin Clansmen. The best thing about the Lambadin Clansmen when you're fighting against them is they are really weak to trample. If they weren't weak to trample, I'd say they would be a bit too strong for their cost compared to Linhir Spearmen. However, it looks like Nidhoggr is being forced to make more spearmen to counter the Horsemen of the Mark spam. Oh, those horsemen are being left on a very light leash. Looks like they weren't moved out in time to save all of their comrades. Some more Linhir Spearmen going on off to the side. Horseman is going to constantly keep Nidhoggr in his base. LeckLerck wants to try and get map supremacy. Slightly going to have some troubles. That unit lived. That unit actually lived, and it's going to replenish to full, and then it's going to destroy his farms. And also, if we zoom in quite nicely here, these clansmen have already got their fiefdom armour because they've reached tier 3, the armaments of the White City. It's not very easy to tell, but that chestplate they did not have in their original model. If we compare it to some like the Linhir Spearmen over here, they have a more of a light chest piece and no like pauldrons or the like. Maybe back to the game. A foot. Power points are pretty even. points each extra. Nidhoggr has gone for the horn of what? I always forget what it's called. The captain's horn. Now, if he's going to go down the same route as he did last time, he will then go down for the Garden of Aphelion, and then get the Oath of Aearl, and then get the Messengers of Manwë and rush down the fortress. Now, I believe this game was done before the original strategy that I showed in the other video, the Gondor versus Mordor video. So this one might be exactly the same thing. We shall see. But we have some more tier 3 units here. And yep, once those units get to tier 3 for Gondor, they get 3 heavy armor. It's not as impressive as you'd think at first glance, because you wouldn't notice it unless you saw the fact they were tier 3. But if those units live, they're going to live for a long time. And Captain's Horn, Guard Mode on all the troops, they should cut through most of these Yorling quite nicely. Peasants haven't been drafted, that's a shame, but they'll have to live with that. Cavalry charging into the backs of the Linhir Spearmen and not suffering any casualties. Now, this is not a bug. This is an unfortunate coding into the game. If you charge the rear of pikemen, you can sometimes negate the effect of the pike unit itself. Or even from the front. It's a very small margin. It's not very likely to happen. It normally only happens when you're actually charging into the back of a pike unit while it's moving. Or, yeah, because if it's standing still, you charge into them, you're definitely going to die. Peasants here cutting through some Linhir Spearmen quite nicely. Where the peasants fail against the Lamadan clansmen, they do succeed against the spearmen, and the cavalry can deal with any clansmen that come their way. That is a level 5 unit and a level 4 unit right there. They've got some veterancy. They're getting out of there so they can get full replenishments and not get targeted anymore. We've not seen any other upgrades yet. Well, I'm sure we will soon. We've got some some horsemen of the mark. I believe that's a well. Yep, that was correct. So that well is going to heal those horsemen up quite nicely. There's a few scattered units of weakened horsemen, but they'll soon be back in the green, I'm sure. Clansmen, again, where the clansmen fail against cavalry, they excel exceedingly well against all forms of infantry. Archers and cavalry are their main weakness, because if they can't fight them in melee, then they're not using their full potential. Unfortunately, Roham LeckLerck has not made a archery range as of yet. That is going to come back to bite him in the ass, but he has now hit his number. There's tier 2 power, but so has Nidhoggr. Where's he thrown down the garden? Where did he throw down the garden? I'm just going to scout out in places. Where did he place it? Did he place it? He placed it in the centre to protect 2 of his farms. Very good positioning there. And he's got Beregond. Beregond, I originally thought, was a pretty trashy hero because of his abilities are, I mean, they're okay. He buffs heroes and he buffs structures, and then he can like cut half his health down to make another hero immune to damage. But his true power comes from the Defender of the White City ability. I did not realise how powerful this ability was. It's not just like a one-hit, only kills one enemy ability. It's a one-hit. This is going to kill half a unit's ability. And he levels up fast. These are peasants he's shooting down. And look how quickly he's leveling up. So he's going to quickly get to level 2. And then uses Defender of the White City ability. Beregond is a very underrated bow hero, in my opinion. You think his spear is better, but honestly, just keep him on his bow. That way he's safe. And it's not like... Oh. He's gone for the Horn of the West March. Horn of Westfold even. So he's going to potentially go for Westfolders to gain some supremacy in melee, where his cavalry can cut down the pikemen, cut down the infantry. He needs something better for just dealing with pikemen in general. Those chargers doing some pretty cataclysmic damage. Unfortunately, if you're not... Oh, see that arrow there? That got defended the White City ability. That cut 2 units in half. Oh, I cut it in half. I'm sure many of you have seen Cyanide and Happiness. You'll know where that's from. I cut it in half. Yeah, this Beregond right here is going to be a menace. Already he's going to give extra... Now he's going to give extra armor for all buildings near him. Well, friendly structures, obviously. And yet, the Lamadan Clansman... It's a nice little clump. He's saving up for the Sons of Aearl. I know the strategy now. I know what he's doing. And yet, despite LeckLerck's efforts, Nidhoggr just has more superior micro tactics. Baragon has been switched to his sword, his spear even, potentially just to deal more damage to structures, which makes sense. And he keeps him in the front line. Now, another thing is, we've seen no archers up to this point. Until now, we see Nidhoggr has built his archery range. He's going to start throwing out more of them. He built a second barracks again ahead of everything else. And he's got, what's his name, Forlong somewhere. He must have, because otherwise he wouldn't have access to the Lasarnak Axeman. Oh, no, he doesn't. It just looks like he does when you're showing it from LeckLerck's side. Okay. I imagine that's what the AI sees, so that they just make Lasarnak Axeman for free. Oh, but that well is going to give big value for all those scattered troops of LeckLerck. Although, sitting in the base like this could be a mistake. Oh, but the horde bonus right there is kicking in. I believe peasants get a horde bonus. Yes, they do. All peasants gain damage and armor when gathered in numbers of 60 or more. Does that affect the yeoman as well? It does not. Okay. So peasant spam. He hasn't actually been spamming peasants. I remember in the first cast I did with Silver versus Zero, Silver was going full peasant spam and managed to keep Zero in his base for a long time. The only problem was he was getting more and more powerful because all those peasants were just giving him resources. Oh, here we go. Here's the archery range. But oh god, this is a do or die situation right here. Nidhoggr has been leading LeckLerck on a wild goose chase, while his army has now appeared on the side of his military recruitment buildings. The Westfolders have arrived and are doing some pretty big damage, but the archers in the back there are just going to cut through them like a hot knife through butter. It's a shame, but we see the Knights of the Westfold, or the Horsemen of the Mark, whatever they're called, coming in, trampling half that unit of Blackroot Vale archers. Some more Westfolders. Oh, those Westfolders are so expensive. If he went for windmills, I think he would have stood more of a chance for this, but obviously he's been spamming out his cavalry, so I'd say getting those farms out is probably better than going windmills. Windmills I only recommend to spam when you're either doing peasant spam or you're playing versus the AI. And there we go. There's the power I was about to talk about. The Oath of Aearl coming to trample all the infantry of Rohan. Oh, this is a slam dunk, I think. I think this might just be a slam dunk, because that's a lot of infantry that's just getting cut down. That's another 5 power points already just from taking out this entire enemy army. He's taken out the archery range. There's no way he can save that with what he's got over there against fully upgraded Rohirrim warriors, which are, by the way, the tier 2 unit of Rohan. So you may think, oh, that's pretty garbage, don't you think? Just 3 units of Rohirrim. But, oh, there we go. Yeah, LeckLerck saw that there was no hope left. Those Rohirrim, Nidhoggr as Gondor is a sight to behold, honestly. That was intense. Quick, but intense. It just shows early cavalry can make a difference, but when you just go Lamadon Clansman spam and Linhir Spearman spam, there's just nothing that can beat it, really. Gondor has so many valuable early game options. Well, I hope you've all enjoyed. If you have any replays, leave them down. Well, put a comment down below and message me on Discord. I will see what I can do. I'm actually running a little bit low on replays now. I could really do with a few more replays, please. But anyway, until next time, my friends, farewell.